From ClarkWoods.com, this is Horribly Off Topic, episode number 219. I'm Chris.
I'm Steve. And
I'm John.
Hooray! We got
Hooray.
the Clark brothers back again.
Oh, shit, dog.
Buongiorno.
What was it like in the very early on episodes you were on?
Yes.
I've been on like twice.
Yeah.
I think it was 2 or 3 years ago.
Was it when I was still in Aya?
There was one there was one where we were recording. It might have been when you were in air. We recorded it up in where I live now before it was all torn down. We recorded it in my old bedroom, and my dad was standing in the doorway.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So
yeah. And then we were doing
That
like a
was one.
spoof of This American Life.
Yes, and then
I think the other was Marlboro.
The other one was when you were in
Not Marlboro. The apartment of
the
Woburn.
apartment,
Woburn.
Woburn.
Yeah.
Woburn.
Yes, and another friend.
I think Rob was there that
Okay,
day.
I was gonna say, can we say his name?
Yeah, I just
You can
don't say his
yeah.
last name.
So Rob Greaseneck, right?
Yeah. How's it going there, Grease Neck?
Rob Greaseneck. He was there. Were you guys just both there and not on mic? I can't remember that.
I think they were both there, but I don't think he really. I think he
think
might have
one or
chimed in
two
the
chimed in,
background, but
Yeah.
never really talked.
Yes. But so now Steve, you're in trouble. You got both of us.
So you're gonna have to link both of those episodes.
in the show notes for this episode, which,
Right.
Which
So we're not sure. This is 219.
This
Those
is
are probably
219.
50 and then 100 something.
It's something like that.
So you can go
figure
back
it
in
out.
time and listen to.
Gonna go back in time.
And Crispin Glover was not in Back to the Future 2 and 3.
Yes, so
Which I didn't
this
even
would-
know until like a couple days ago.
This could be a theme. So Steve, you tell me about this one, and then I got a tweet I got to read that's along a similar theme. You.
It is the holiday season.
It's the holiday season, and I listen to a bunch of Christmas fucking songs.
Oh, you can
You
say,
don't have to sing along with
you can
me,
say
Chris.
you can say
Yes,
fucking
I
songs?
do.
No, especially when I'm singing a song that doesn't have like lyrics that you know.
It doesn't have a harmony.
So I went in to get a root canal.
Oh, no.
Real quick, and the root canal was going fine, and the music in the background was horrible, but it was not Christmas music. Then I went in to get the crown put on, and the music was Christmas music, and it was ridiculously awful. Just bad stuff.
It was weird. Like when I went to my wisdom teeth out, my dentist was like, "What do you want to listen to?" And I'm like, "Well, my favorite band is Ween, but I don't think that's appropriate for like the dentist office." And he's like, "Don't worry about it." And he just puts it on, and then I'm like, he puts me out. I wake up and there's like a different Ween song playing.
Oh, nice.
So he was just listening. He was basically just listening to Ween for however long it took them to take out my fucking 4 wisdom teeth.
And it wasn't Doctor Strange doing his whole like quiz me while he's taking your teeth out.
No.
Did you wake up with your pants unbuttoned?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Becky said I wasn't
the most
in there
important
for
thing
very
of a
long.
doctor's visit.
Well, I guess
So,
your
like-
teeth were easily extracted.
Right.
Yeah. If by teeth you mean. No, so who was it that
You mean my jizz,
You're-
Chris?
you're
Is that
not-
what you
well,
were
not-
insinuating?
Why
If
did you
your
make that
jizz-
sucking teeth with your, like right when you meant jizz? What were you talking about?
I was trying
Die
to
Hard? Were you
no,
talking
no,
about Die
no,
Hard?
no.
Okay.
One of you guys brought up you brought up the Crispin Glover.
Yes,
did,
not
Yes.
Back to the Future.
Just
what
now.
I can't
2 or
remember
3. Yes.
is we were talking about this yesterday on Christmas, and I can't remember if it was John or Steve who first brought it. I think it was you earlier in the day.
Yes.
Okay, and then you educated me, and then you had to educate Steve.
I was looking up something on imdb.com. It's where you go to find out information on...
The Internet Movie Database.
yeah, I believe that's
Yeah, that's what the
referred to.
acronym stands for.
And
Chris. Thank you.
Unfortunately, I got pulled into some clickbait. And,
Oh,
wound
the
down
clickbait.
wound down a click hole.
Why Hollywood won't hire Sean Astin anymore?
And I saw a blue Will Smith, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening with my life? And then I also saw, that Crispin Glover wasn't in there, and there's a whole SAG suing him. So that's why I brought it up earlier in the day. Then Steve came over, and then we...
I was
talked about
under
it
the
again.
impression that there was one scene that they used a clip from the original movie, but John enlightened me.
I believe he wasn't credited at all in the movie because they didn't use any footage from the original.
Okay.
As well as they did use prosthetics supposedly from the first movie on the other actor who took over Crispin Glover's role, which I don't have his name.
I could look it up.
Okay,
You
well,
don't have to.
I
But
could.
It's not that important
not-
because
it's not the topic.
Crispin Glover is the good actor as opposed to whoever played George McFly in 2. I don't think there was there a George McFly in 3.
there was. He didn't seem that bad
I mean, yeah, but he was just like doing
I'd be-
a
he
George
was-
McFly impression.
in the background.
Yeah.
Like, except for he was upside down floating in 2.
Oh, I threw my back out again.
Yeah. And it was a good
George
voice,
McFly is
so-
an actor known for California Dreams, 1992, and IWW Whiplash TV, 2006.
No, don't look up the actor George McFly.
Well, I just thought he would
We're
come up as a
looking
character.
for the character George
I
McFly.
know, I understand this, but sometimes you can look up a character
Go
on the
back in
IMDb.
time.
Crispin Glover.
No, but we don't want Crispin Glover.
But it's the easiest way for me to
really
remember
not.
what the hell we were talking about.
Back to the Future 2.
Back-
You just
and
look up
3.
Back to the Future 2 and look up the
Oh.
cast of that movie.
Crispin Glover is in.
A lot of movies.
He was
Willard?
in American Gods, which we were talking about
Oh, yes.
before the show.
It's My Day.
It's my day.
It is a Wednesday.
Yes. He was in The Doors.
No, we don't care about what Crispin Glover was
What was
in.
the thing that you wanted
Sure
to bring
you
up?
do.
No, what-
George
no.
McFly. George McFly. Back to the Future 2. No, okay.
Click on the see
I gotta get to the sequel. Back to the Future 2. There it is. All right. Thomas F. Wilson. Leah
Tom
Thompson,
Wilson was
Right.
Biff.
Right, I think there.
James Jeffrey Wiseman. Jeffrey Wiseman. George McFly.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he did all right. I mean, he was just in the background, as you said.
Yeah, I mean,
but,
like-
he was just doing an impression, and that's like SAG had a problem with it. and all that.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna sneeze.
You feel like well, how
Just look up at
certain
a
are
light,
you going to sneeze?
and there it is. Bless you. Gesundheit.
Do you
Salute.
know who else is in that movie?
Sancho.
Who? Elizabeth Shue?
No. The Hobbit, not the Hobbit, not the
Astin?
titular Hobbit, but the other one. Frodo, Samwise, Frodo,
No,
Yeah.
it's Frodo.
Bilbo,
Yeah, Frodo-
not Bilbo, Frodo.
You're talking
Frodo
about
was in
Elijah Wood?
Elijah Wood.
Yes.
It's a baby's toy.
So,
Sort of like a baby's hand holding an apple.
Exactly like that.
All right.
what the fuck? So,
Did we get horribly off topic?
no, but you really threw what I was gonna say for a loop. and I-
about George McFly, Crispin Glover.
Well, no, I mean they wanted Crispin Glover to be in the second movie,
wouldn't?
and there was going to be a significant amount of the script that was about him.
Yes.
But when he didn't want to do the second one,
There were,
they completely rewrote the script.
Right.
It
Wasn't
was supposed to be in like the 70s, I think.
I wasn't sure. That was on the clickbait. They said it was undetermined, as if he wanted more money or if it was a scheduling conflict. But there was some reason that he wasn't in it, and the studio just went with
I think he didn't. I don't think he liked the way the first movie ended. I think was the big thing was like it's like, oh, now they're more well off because
Because he punched Biff.
because he punched Biff, or like, yeah, or just different. And he's like,
I mean, maybe Elizabeth Shue crop dusted him at some point,
But
and he
it's-
did not want to work with her.
it's weird like that they were better off,
Yeah.
but they were also living in the exact same house, which wasn't a great neighborhood in Back to the Future but then for some reason it's a good neighborhood.
But it's his first novel, right?
Yeah, but
so
they were-
maybe he's going to get them out of there once his first novel is published. Maybe they've been living, within their means the entire time. Well, he's publishing a novel, getting ready to do a novel, and they're just living in their means, paying down their mortgage, and now, you know what? Now they're going to move up to Hilldale. Is it Hilldale?
They were in Hilldale. Or wait,
No. Where is it that Marty and
Lion Estates. There we go.
they were in Lion Estates. They're going to move to Hilldale.
But Hilldale was a dump in the future,
But
which
the
is
future's
technically
been
right now
changed.
the past.
Yes. And?
Sure.
No, I mean, I don't want to stop the conversation right there.
You were talking about a tweet earlier.
Oh, I
though?
was talking about a tweet. Well, it was about things in movies, and I thought this was very interesting. This was a tweet made
Did
by
you tweet it, or was it somebody else?
somebody else.
You're gonna have to give them credit.
I will, and you can give them credit in your own special way.
Is
when
it
I say
is it
they're-
the fucking guy with a dog? Sorry, that was really loud.
That was really loud. You should explain to John who the guy with the dog is.
There was this guy that had a dog, and I was suggesting that maybe he, when the dog is doing something he doesn't like, maybe like do a loud noise to surprise the dog to stop him from doing that thing.
The gentleman in question is a man by the name of John Siracusa. I might have mispronounced that. John Siracusa, and he at the time had a puppy, and he believed in positive reinforcement only for training a dog. Steve disagreed with this.
Well, I'm not like never did it cross my lips that you should hit the dog or be like shitty to the dog. I was just, but like when the dog, like you need to like at least ignore the dog when it's doing shitty things, so it doesn't get the attention that it wants. So like I don't know.
At any rate, so when we published that episode, I included the @ symbol for this Mr. Siracusa on Twitter. He, being a guy who is known for his like 50-page reviews of each macOS release, decided to live tweet his reactions to Steve's diatribe about the dog, and so now every time Twitter comes up, Steve thinks I'm going to talk about this guy with the dog, who I don't even really follow that much on Twitter anymore.
I don't like this guy.
Okay.
I hope his dog is good now, but I also hope that the dog bites him.
No, this is not
positive reinforcement.
Right. Positive, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you obviously want to encourage good behavior in the dog,
yes,
and discourage bad behavior. But like there's different ways of doing it. Like especially like I think the toilet training or the housebreaking or whatever the hell you want to call it is the big thing. Because like when you see the dog in the house sniffing around, there's a good chance they might start pissing or shitting somewhere. So you kind of like you get them, you take them outside, and then they do their business outside. Then you give them praise for pissing or shitting outside because that's what you want.
Right.
But you don't you surprise them to stop them from doing something that you don't want them to do.
I mean, it's clearly, it's simple logic right there. Most people aren't that smart, though. Like, most people will be like, oh, I like to pee in the corner. I'm going to keep peeing in the corner.
That's pee in the corner. Yeah. That's pee in the spotlight. Losing.
Yes, Ants.
Have your goddamn orange crush. What the fuck is the tweet?
No. So I before I get to the tweet, I need to pause here and say that have you ever owned a dog, Steve?
No, but I've been studying up a lot on owning a dog because we're probably gonna have a fucking dog.
Okay, wait.
Fucking dog?
No, a dog
that fucks.
No, well,
you're gonna take care of the parts.
Hopefully, the dog will not be fucking.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're gonna clip off the parts that let it. Fuck,
I mean
right?
that's just a horrible existence. Yeah. Just so fucking terrible.
So the reason I asked that is you haven't owned a dog. I have not owned a dog, but our guest
you have technically
we all owned a dog.
Yeah, it was the family's dog.
It was not the family's dog.
Yeah.
Must I repeat this anecdote? I will repeat this anecdote.
I mean, you can.
I mean, it was basically the dog was He-Man, and so Chris couldn't like it.
Yes, the dog was He-Man, and I didn't. He-Man was not my
Adam
thing.
from Eternia.
No.
Oh, you love Adam. You just don't like it when he gets ripped.
Well, no.
Right.
I think I liked him a little bit better when he got ripped. I'm just gonna say, give me the nipples or don't give me the nipples.
He has tendencies. So.
Okay. No, I mean he did love Hulk Hogan. He would rip his shirts off all the time.
Oh wait, I just did. It is Randy Savage. No, okay.
Yeah,
listen.
Jesus.
All right, we got.
He does these impressions of the wrong people.
We got to back up a few layers in the stack here. Okay.
Dude, just take off those tassels, Ultimate Warrior. Let's go.
Oh my gosh! Put them on your nipples. No, that's.
Did he have tassels on his nipples?
No, he wants them on the nipples.
I'm saying, take them off and put them on your nipples.
I mean, if he's not lactating, you're not going to cause any serious damage on his nipples.
Yeah.
So.
No. Okay. So let's explain a few things to the audience here. One, Steve referenced the dog being like He-Man. Now, to explain, we have said that when John and I were growing up. I said this to Steve. John can disagree with this, and maybe the whole episode will just be John correcting things I've said on the show.
Sure.
there were certain toys that were more John's thing and certain toys that were more my thing.
Correct. I had He-Man. Chris had Transformers for
Right.
the most part. I
Yes.
had a few Transformers.
Yeah, I don't know that I ever had a
You had more G.I. Joe than He-Man. You had like 2 or 3
Yeah.
that I remember.
Yeah. So, you saying that the dog was like He-Man, that's what you were
That's a
referring
good
to.
analogy.
It's a good analogy, but in case there's a listener out there who didn't put it all together, I just wanted to.
Well, I mean,
Right.
I'm going to
So-
we
But
could
that is
just
not-
not explain it and reward people who are longtime listeners.
That is not the anecdote I was referring to. The anecdote I was referring to was when we brought home the sweet little puppy Max, who was a Springer Spaniel Black Lab mix. Was he anything
Retriever
else?
as well.
Retriever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a sweet little puppy dog. He's
He
in a
was
box.
Jamaican, I think.
He was,
from what I remember.
Yeah, he had dreadlocks all the time. We would comb his hair; they would just dread right the hell up. It was ridiculous.
So we had a Jamaican dog,
Yep.
but at
He had
this
a,
point he's
he had a
just
Yaman.
spliff hanging out the
He's-
side of his mouth.
Yeah,
He had-
he had
100%.
100%.
One white glove. You know, he was a Jamaican who wanted to be Michael Jackson. So my
on the bobsled team. He had a white paw.
he had a
Oh,
white
okay.
paw.
Yeah.
Sorry, I said glove. Yeah, he had a white paw.
He said glove.
Sorry, my
your ear
headphones
hurting?
Yes, they're hurting a lot.
Oh no.
So
We took the dog home.
we were taking the dog home. Dog was in a box. But what I remember about the conversation pre bringing the dog home was that I told our mom and dad I did not want a dog. And so the dog, and they were, they agreed to this. And so the dog was my parents' dog and John's dog, and not my dog. And I only remember this because I had a lot of guilt later on because I ended up sort of regretting having said that. And then later on, I'd try to get affection from the dog or give affection. I'd be like, Chris, you are an asshole who said you didn't want this dog, and you should not allow yourself affection from this dog because he's not your dog. He's John's dog.
I mean, dogs tend to be pretty empathic, so like
So
they could
here's
probably
the thing.
sense how
But I
shitty
was-
you were feeling to
but
yourself.
also
so it
I
was like, I'm
wasn't-
gonna be shitty to you too.
I was shitty.
I don't believe Max was ever shitty to you. Was he?
No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
I was shitty to the dog.
I don't think you
because
were
I
ever
don't think
shitty to
I
the dog.
gave. All right, well, here's an example of when I was shitty to the dog.
You shat on the dog.
I
shit on
not,
Max?
I did not shit on
Damn,
the dog,
dude.
No, so my friends and I. It was probably spring break in '98 or so. I was still in college. Or just thereafter, and Stephanie
So
and I.
John had
started-
just gone to college and come back.
I was back at another college and working full
Yeah,
time.
yeah. No, so this is this is
when you
between
were-
my.
I was at Middlesex,
Middlesex,
Yeah, so
with
this is
you.
my junior year.
Working
I
at
think.
that company.
Yes.
Anyway, so my friends and I from college are downtown Chelmsford, and we're sitting at the Friendlies.
And so Max had escaped and was like,
Yes.
Oh,
I
nice.
I would just like to time out right there.
Yeah.
Max was a cute little dog, and we put him in the kitchen the first night, and it
Yeah.
was like a 3 foot tall thing.
Yeah.
Border that prevented him from escaping the
Right.
kitchen. But then
In
the
theory.
first night, he jumped over it. Like this little puppy that was like however many weeks old
He's
or
a
whatever.
puppy. He's tiny.
Jumped over it and then pooped in the dining room. Fantastic dog. No one really owned the dog because we never cut his balls off.
Yeah.
So no one owned the dog. The dog was
The
his
dog
own
owned himself.
Free thing. We did have him inside a lot. We brought him outside a lot. But he had his balls, and he would go make more dogs with the neighborhood dogs.
well, I mean that's also like your neighbors, not fixing their lady dogs.
exactly.
Yes.
Yes. So, if you get a dog that has balls, please
You don't
Don't-
own the dog.
don't take his balls. But I mean, if you have to,
We're gonna take the damn
okay,
dog's
all right,
balls.
all right, okay.
So
I think everybody deserves to have balls if you're born with them.
so the
If you're
point.
not born with them, then you deserve them too. Whatever.
Well, I'm with Bob Barker and help control. The
Will you take her
population.
if it's a girl dog? Will you take her lady balls?
They're not
I mean her
balls.
ovaries.
Okay, there
Is
you
that what?
I don't know what the fuck they do.
I actually don't know that.
Let's not look up spade right
yeah,
now.
let's not.
Let's just
You
continue.
probably just get
Which one?
David.
Which
Back
one
to the
is
dog. You were at
the
Friendlies or
spay?
something in
Oh,
the
yes.
center of the town. You
Yeah,
saw
I was in
Max.
I was in the center of the town, and my friends and I from
and the dog
from
jumped
college
in
were the-
through the window, like the pickup window, and was eating ice cream out
No,
of the thing.
but we were in the
And then you took his balls.
we were in the booth closest to the window where the public library was across the street, and it's a busy
The public library featured on The Simpsons.
Yes.
As a town hall.
Yeah.
So it's a busy area, and in order for the dog to appear where the dog appeared, the dog had to run across at least 3.
2 lanes of traffic.
But think about where
From
the
the
dog
other
started.
side, so another 4.
The dog had to run
lanes of-
across.
least
Don't be
3.
creepy. The dog had to run across Acton Road in Chelmsford, which is a busy street. Assuming the dog took the easiest route to get to Friendly's. Then the dog had to run across whatever the fuck the street actually is. Don't ever use GPS around Chelmsford because the street name around the public library changes 3 times. Fucking annoying. Anyway, so he has to run across that.
You know
street
where you're
with-
going. Are you using GPS in Chelmsford?
Sometimes when I'm going
get out
someplace
of
long
Chelmsford,
distance, I turn on the GPS so I don't have to fucking fiddle with it while I'm driving. And so the
Yeah,
initial...
but you know how to get to.
I have to turn on the GPS when I leave the house. So I have to listen to it fucking say, now continue on this street. Now continue on this street. Now continue on this street.
Time out. You know,
You can also
you know
mute
what's
that.
great is that GPS is so much better than like a Thomas guide or a map.
Yes.
Anyway, continue.
I'm
all
so
good.
annoyed by technology.
Don't get me fucking started. There's some.
We already did.
All right, hold on. I'm peeking a little. Steve's peeking a little. We're getting a little bit agitated.
Stop checking out my stuff.
You're getting agitated.
I'm. Yeah.
So
No, it's also-
what was the dog fucking while you were eating ice cream?
What was the dog fucking? He might have been fucking the bush. I don't know.
No, there's definitely something in that.
No,
book, probably.
so what happens is I think Stephanie and I would have been dating for no more than 3 or 4 months at this point. And
So she was there?
she was there. Stephanie was
she
there.
saw the dog fuck.
My friend Stacy was there. And we're all sitting in the window, eating our fribbles. I don't know. What do you have at Friendly's? And this dog,
A patty melt?
The fuck is a fribble?
fribble, isn't it? That's like their orange freeze, or is it their?
No, a
their
fribble
shake?
is basically
Fribble
like
is
it
a
was
milkshake?
like a frap only at Friendly's.
Okay.
They just called it a fribble.
So we're sitting there at the window, and a dog comes running by, and Stephanie goes, "Isn't that your dog?" And I
Hashtag not my dog.
I said,
Is that going to be the title?
hashtag not my dog. No, so the dog is there, and he pauses. So like there's no one
with
chasing.
his paws, with his one white paw.
And he's got his chain dragging behind him.
Yeah, because he would always snap the chain on the other end.
Yeah, so
And
he's got
then
his he's got his chain and something that had caught on the chain. I don't know if it
Yeah.
was
It was another dog.
piece of the.
Yeah,
It's not.
100%.
It was the dog he just finished fucking.
Yeah.
She was like, "Come on, come back."
You want to
I
cuddle?
some
No.
more."
And, whoa!
So anyway, I don't think I did anything, and we just let the dog go run back into
What the
traffic.
fuck were
and
you
go-
gonna do?
I
Like,
don't know. I
Max,
think-
come back, and he'd be like, "Fuck you."
I think the girls, the girls being Stacy and Stephanie, were thinking that I would get up from the booth, go outside, and take care of the dog, and I didn't.
Like Old Yeller.
No, like grab him by the chain and walk him home. We're a 5-minute walk from, 5-10 minute walk. I don't know. I can't remember how fat I was. So it's a 5-10 minute walk from.
I mean, like you're not gonna be running home.
Sorry, I have body image issues. It was a 5 to 10 minute walk from Friendly's.
Put
So
a
I think
tassel on your nipple, you'll be fine with your body image. Keep going.
I think they were thinking that I would go out. Steve is shaking his nipples here in the studio.
Stop taking a peek.
I think they were thinking I would walk the dog home.
Like
and
this is my spare room is now a studio.
it's our studio.
Yeah, I guess it's also where I play PlayStation 3.
And where somebody had sex, because John.
it's,
Don't say who.
A little musty in here.
Yeah. Steve says it's not him.
musty.
We think it might be somebody else.
Do I need to open the window?
No, it just smells a little like sex. That's all.
Not that that's a bad smell. I mean, sex is a totally natural thing, including when dogs do it. So don't cut off your dog's balls.
Yes,
We're
please
going
don't.
to do it.
Jesus Christ.
I don't want the dog humping people, and I don't want the dog jizzing on things.
And get a female dog, please.
No.
Yeah, well, she might still hump on things.
That's fine.
Rub up against things.
She's not going to be jizzing.
I don't want to
everywhere.
have to
Well,
deal with
she
that.
might have lady jibs.
Yeah,
I don't want to deal with that first dog period
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you can't get them fixed until that happens.
Oh, okay. When does that happen?
I don't know, when they hit dog puberty.
When do you think Max hit dog puberty?
I thought you were going to read something.
I was going to read
yes,
something,
and.
but
Can we not talk about the dog and get fucking anymore?
So, the tweet was not from the dog person,
Good.
right? But we have a dog person here, so I think I was going to say we should listen to John's advice about dogs. Maybe we kind of got it out there. I was just going to say, you've never owned a dog. I've never owned a dog.
Becky
John,
has owned a dog.
but Becky's not on the show right now. We
Yes,
could go
but,
get
like,
her. I mean, I think
no,
she's busy.
She's fine.
So I forget what it was I was going to ask my brother's opinion on, but he's the one who's owned a dog.
Okay, well, dogs come with a whole bunch of guilt. And I'll tell you all about the guilt right now. Is that it lives to maybe the dog, male or female, lives to like 15 if you're lucky. If like that is a considered lucky thing.
Yeah.
Because the last couple of years, the dog's probably gonna have like a bunch of cancer and just lumps and just be sickly.
Right.
Which is not really a great life, but you know,
Yeah.
if it's getting a lot of love and attention, why the hell not? The love and attention thing is the problem. That's why it's a guilt trip. It's because I went to college and the dog stayed home. I
Yeah.
went to a different college, the dog stayed home. I went to across the country, the dog stayed home.
Right.
There was less and less attention I gave the dog, so that's like a huge guilt thing. So,
Right.
and if you have a pet, you really should spend as much time with it as possible. It's sort of like a kid. So you like, if you don't feed it, of course, you know, you're gonna feel bad. Of course, you would feed the dog. You don't want to ever mistreat the dog.
Right.
There's tons of food for Max all the time. He loved cheese. He was like,
I think
the cheese
dogs in
dog.
general really like cheese.
We would near like when I was visiting, I would give him some cheese, put it in his bowl. He would move all the food aside, just eat the cheese, and be like, "I'm done. Fuck y'all. I'm gonna leave." Dogs are great. Love's great. You gotta get a dog. It's fantastic.
I mean, luckily-
it's just a whole bunch of guilt. And if you're at work all the day, and
Well-
like if you're vacationing and you leave it behind, it's
we're,
just
we're probably not going to do that, and it's just basically this is you know we're pretty much homebodies anyways nowadays, so
Yeah.
like it'll
Yeah.
just
yeah. You
know,
go to sleep by 9,
Yeah.
right? That was ridiculous. The dog will be cuddling at your
They'll
feet.
be like, "Okay,
and it'll
let's
love
go to
you.
sleep."
It's going to be great.
you
So.
know,
You guys are going to be perfect doggy parents.
Yeah, and this neighborhood's not bad. You can walk the dog all the time.
yeah,
So
and there's Biden next door.
Joe?
No, but I'm assuming that's who he's named after.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought okay, that's the dog's name.
Yes,
Biden. What kind of dog?
he's a
Republican?
I think he's no, he's a Democrat.
oh, good, good, good.
So
So it's not a. It's
Make
not
sure
like
you get a
sarcastic
Democratic
thing.
dog.
We
Okay,
will.
all right. Obama.
Don't let him vote don't let him vote for Bernie
Maybe
Sanders.
we'll vote or we'll name the dog Al Gore.
You can name him Beto.
Anyway, you were going to read it.
I was gonna read- I
Can
was
we
gonna read it.
eventually read this fucking?
We can eventually read this tweet.
You
now,
gotta give
it was
credit.
not the dog person
Yes.
that I wanted you to give your own special tribute to. I wanted you to do. You'll know what to do when I say the name. So this is a tweet by Seth Rogen.
I'm not gonna do it. I did
No,
it before
come
the
on!
show.
You did it before the show.
Yep.
You got to do it for our audience. Do it for the people, Steve. Thank you, Seth Rogen.
Holy shit, Seth Rogen was just here.
I know, Seth.
Nope.
So Seth, you said yesterday.
Shut up.
You said that your entire I'll read it as if I were you, Seth. My entire childhood, I thought the old-timey movie that Kevin watches in Home Alone, Angels with Filthy Souls, was actually an old movie.
And it's not, right?
It's not.
Yeah.
What did you
I
know this? I did not know this.
I did figure that out, like, because I think I was like maybe a couple of years ago very bored at work, and I think it was around the holiday season.
Yeah.
And so I think I might have watched
You
Home
went-
Alone recently, so I'm like, oh, I'll look up
You went down Macaulay
Angels with
Culkin's
Dirty
rabbit
Souls
hole.
or whatever. So I checked it out, and I'm like, oh no, that was just a fake old movie that they made for that movie.
John, did you know?
I did not know.
I did not know. I'm still getting over this. Why? If you knew this, why didn't you tell us?
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Oh my gosh. It ruins a lot of that.
I was wearing
that film for me.
I have 2 Christmas shirts, and that was the one I was wearing at Ryan's for his little Krampus fest. So
Oh,
and that
Krampus.
was Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
Yeah.
And then I have same one because I have not bathed yet today.
Oh, Steve, have you taken a dump?
No, that's
Okay.
why I haven't bathed.
Oh, right. Yes, because do you know Steve's rule about
I'm guessing that he has to shower after he takes a dump because it's so explosively angry.
No, it's usually just because I never have a decently clean break, so I like to bathe afterwards because
Yeah.
I don't want to wipe so much that my butthole is bloody.
I understand completely. Like
Yeah.
having a bloody butthole is just something that's not.
Do
a
dogs
pleasant
ever
thing.
have bloody buttholes?
I'm sure if they get humped in the butthole, it
Yeah.
probably gets bloody.
But so
Or if they
you know,
eat too
dog.
much cheese.
Okay, wait.
No, Max never had a bloody butthole.
Oh boy,
That I ever
I
saw.
think we better stop. I think we lost a listener there.
Yeah. Us more-
She
we've
probably
lost them all.
just she
Wait,
probably
wait,
just
wait,
hit
wait,
30 second skip, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
like the Chris Skip.
Chris. That could be another T-shirt or coaster. Or I read this on my website. I got to figure out whether or not I'm allowed to make a new hot logo in the style of the.
I like the
of
current
website.
hot logo. Like, what's wrong with this?
Well, I'm just saying. I wonder if I could do something very similar, but there's a little more stylized. My website's a little bit more. It's got an old timey feel.
But
to
our
it.
show isn't old.
Oh yeah,
I
no,
did-
it looked like a brothel. I
It looked.
mentioned, like
John thought it looked like a
Western
brothel.
Do you want to
know,
have
the
like a
color scheme.
brothel?
No, but
So,
I got
like, we
this
could just
whole-
call it like horribly off
I know.
whorehouse. That's a double. That's an H.
That,
You
that,
double
that,
your
that
own
is an H. All I'm saying is I got this nice
could just
little
spell whorehouse
badge
wrong.
making toolkit.
I'm sorry. What making?
Badge making.
Badge.
Making. I know we don't
something
need no
else.
stinking badges, but we we got the I just think I could do better.
Okay.
I
Try,
did that in-
Try and
I
if
did
it's
that in
not better than
Canva,
this,
like,
I'm going to
for-
veto it.
Okay.
Do or do not.
I got it.
All right, do it, and then I'll veto it.
I got a
if it's
Yoda
not good.
action figure for Christmas.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Is it like him flipping around with a fucking lightsaber from
He has
like
a
episode
lightsaber.
3?
He has a lightsaber, but he is not flipping around unless I make him flip around because he's an action figure.
Wow, so he's not an inaction figure.
Did you get any action figures?
I got
He got a statue.
I got a figurine of
It's a statue.
of the Straw Hat Luffy. It's only available in Japan, so Becky had to import it. But she's pretty.
Your
great.
wife
She-
loves you.
Yeah, she does. And it's like the guys that are super fans made it. They designed it, so it's got a bunch of inside One Piece crap all over.
Are
his
you a super
person.
fan?
I consider myself that. Yeah,
So you and Becky will probably go to Japan?
maybe someday. I don't
Well,
know.
it's very English accessible if you stick to the main cities.
Yeah.
And I traveled there last year, and it is all concrete, 100%.
I'm hoping to
100%
get.
concrete.
I'm hoping to get there
they have deer?
before the Tokyo One Piece Tower stops being a thing.
Yes.
I mean, it's been there for like the last 3 years and with no signs of slowing down. I think it's just now it's ramping up. People more stuff is going there as opposed to less stuff.
I can tell you what it is if
Yeah, I mean,
first-hand experience.
you did.
Yeah.
But if you want to do it for the
Oh,
listeners,
sure. I thought it was going to be really cool. I enjoy One Piece up till Skypiea. It's a thing in One Piece. If you haven't seen it or read it, go read it.
I like Skypiea now more now that the stuff that has happened in it is more relevant to other things that have happened later in the story.
Okay. Well, you walk in. There's a cool 360 movie. It's really nice. Then you walk and you see this cool montage of things and statues set up that you can take pictures with. And then it's pretty much just small rooms that you can go and play like blown up digital phone games on. I took a fake sword thing and I hack and slash at
So it was like Fruit Ninja with
Fruit Ninja with like a sword that like Zoro's sword.
Yeah.
And I was terrible at it.
Did you
because
have
the
3
timing.
swords?
No, I only had one.
Oh, okay.
I believe.
Well, that's probably why you did so bad.
yes.
You needed
I
3.
needed 2 other swords and one in my mouth, but they don't have a good cleansing system, I guess, for their handles.
And I heard the I
then you
heard
can
the
win prizes
the
and stuff.
Usopp shooting gallery thing was impossible.
I unfortunately was on my way to the airport that day. I'd stopped in and only spent like an hour or so there, but I think you'd still enjoy it. I think you'd enjoy other parts of Tokyo as well.
Yeah. I mean, you could go anywhere in in a larger city in Japan and you'll find shit tons of One Piece stuff.
Yeah.
Because you got to get them all.
There's some place in
Wrong thing.
there's some place in
But if you get them all, then you have they're all and all can be one, and then there's a One Piece.
I
The
understand.
Allspark.
no. There's a bar called like the bar All Blue or something like that. That's like a super fan of One Piece's bar, and there's a bar that the actor that plays Luffy's father, the voice actor, just owns. And so like, I would like to go to both of those places, and like I think the actor that plays I think it's Dragon. I think is somewhat fluent in English, so he's someone we could speak with, and it'd be really cool to meet the voice actor, hang out with him, drink, and
Make
chat.
him say things from the show.
Yeah, well, he
He might even just have, I don't know what his
like
bar
Dragon is not in a lot of episodes.
No, I don't know. I tried reading the book. It went the
You
wrong
went
way.
through one chapter.
It went the wrong way.
Yeah, I know. It's like Chris. Like if there's a minor hurdle, then
That
don't,
is
uh,
true.
I don't know what
I
kind
am a very weak-willed, lazy person. So
I just like
keep that in mind when pitching me.
I'm gonna
things.
bring back up Chelmsford Center for a second.
Okay.
So this is something Becky pointed out.
Okay.
You know, like in Chelmsford Center, they have like the crosswalks.
Yes.
But they have like the speed bumps leading up to it. So like the
yes,
crosswalk
that
is technically
a more
the
recent
speed-
innovation in the good old town of Chelmsford.
So the whole point of a speed bump is to get you to slow down.
yes.
So if the speed bump isn't before the crosswalk, it is the crosswalk. So you haven't technically completely slowed down because of the speed bump before you get to the crosswalk. So you could potentially still be going too fast and hit somebody.
That's a very good point. Let me start there. I think the idea of these kind of things where the crosswalk is on the raised area is to... I think the crosswalk part of it is that the person is now elevated, so they're slightly higher in view.
It's not like the people that were crossing in Chelmsford before are like Lilliputians and like you couldn't fucking see them like at the crosswalk before.
I'm just telling you what I think the idea is. I didn't come up with the idea, Steve. I'm just the messenger. You know what you're not supposed to do to the messenger?
Murder them.
Yes. I'm just the messenger. What do you think? I mean, you've seen these things. They
think-
weren't there
I
when
think
we
they're
were kids.
relying on
but-
people's what is it? One of their senses called vision.
Yes.
To see. Oh, I have to slow down. They're going
Right.
to slow down before the bump. The bump is not going to be the thing that slows them down.
No.
They're like, oh crap, I have to slow down or else my car's undercarriage is going to get fucked up. So I'm slowing down.
Yeah, but it's
and then
like
you see somebody, it's like it might be an elevated thing.
Yeah.
And it could be just to keep their feet from getting wet. I don't know if the engineers like were really conscious of like people though. Like if it's raised, they're not going to step in a puddle as they cross the street onto a crosswalk. That could be a thing. It could be easier for the plows.
actually that probably fucks plows up.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
so
gonna guess you're right.
I was driving to Maine the other day.
Just real quick.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of bar Dragon owns in Japan. The voice actor who played Dragon.
Yeah.
But I went to one place that was just in someone's like it looked like a basement. They just slid open a door and it's like, hey, here's somebody's house that we're eating in, and there's a sake bar up there. So it was like interesting. He could just live upstairs from his bar.
I mean, he might.
Was it by a river?
No, it was
In the universe that
Which I don't
not
know if
my
there's a
stories,
river there.
if it's a bar in a basement by a river, you can travel through time out back.
okay.
That's a thing that I write, but we don't talk about that here. Even though my website,
I haven't read your book,
is
but Becky has.
primarily about my website's primarily about my stuff.
I think Leo also has read your book.
Leo has left my book in Indonesia, right? Is it
Yes.
Indonesia, one of them.
Yeah, he's
Not
going
the
to be
best one.
he's going to be traveling again soon, so maybe he'll
Give
get
him a couple copies.
Yeah,
to
give him a
take to
couple
Africa.
copies so we can take it to Africa.
You know what? That's a good idea. Where's he? They're going to.
They're going to Africa. I don't know if he wants to be
Okay, sorry,
specific.
sorry.
So, like, he's got a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So he can email us if he does want to share.
If he, yeah. Okay, speed bump thing. I was driving
To Maine.
You can all tell me that I'm full of it or whatever, but I was driving to Maine the other day, and I am noticing that this road that doesn't really need to be widened is being widened. And I'm not sure why it's being widened, and I'm bent out of shape because I don't like driving to Maine, but I do anyway because my wife and my kids. Well, my kids can't drive, and my wife likes to play a game or get something done. And I was covering for you, man. I was making the story way longer than it needed to be. I was
I had a little tickle in my throat, and I needed some more water.
Okay. I was trying. I just doing a little bit of theater there, a little bit of theater of the mind. I was just going to be blowhard Chris, who was talking too long, and that would cover for the fact that you.
And now you don't have to cover anymore.
All right. Anyway, so I'm driving to Maine. They're adding a lane to this fucking highway up there, and I say to Stephanie, this is bullshit. We're spending way too much of our thought and energy on infrastructure regarding roads and cars, and we should be thinking more. I don't know. I just think that cars and this is not going to last forever, and public transit would be a better
public
investment.
transit, and also if you were to incentivize businesses that allowed their employees to work from home,
Right.
I think that would be ideal.
Yeah.
Because then, a bunch of people are rolling out of bed,
Right.
and they're at work, basically.
Yeah.
They don't have to fucking sit through an hour or an hour and a half's worth of traffic.
Yeah.
And then all the people that do have to be a manufacturing job or do have to be someplace to
Right.
do a job, they're going to have a better commute.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't want to complain about my job, but I had the flu. Well,
You
Steve
did not have the fucking flu.
I had the flu.
That's what I heard.
And so for a week I was working from home, and the thing is, I was not any less productive working from home, and it proved to me that
In
I
fact,
could do.
most people are more productive when they work from home because they feel guilty about the
Yes.
fact that they're working from home, so they tend to work harder.
That was me. I had no boundaries that week. That was so personally I had a problem that I would have had to overcome if that was what I did every week. But it would make a hell of a lot more sense because I'm one person in a car clogging up a roadway to get into Cambridge, and there's no need for me to be there. The person who was previously in my job when it was a very different job was the sort of front face of the office, was that traditional admin assistant secretary role, and that's not who I am. They don't need me there. But I go in sort of out of inertia, and I think there's a lot of people who do that. I don't know. I just think
They don't need you at the location, but they need you to do a lot
they
of
need
work.
me to do a lot of work. They don't need me physically in the office to be
So
greeting
maybe
people
the
or
next
anything like
the
that.
next time you have some sort of negotiation coming up, you say, "Can I work home 2 days a week
Yeah.
when I'm not teaching a class?"
Right. At any rate, I just think somebody came up with the idea of these fucking speed bumps that you're talking, that Becky pointed out that you were just talking about, and somebody's getting paid to come up with that as an innovation, and it's.
I don't think it's necessarily an innovation. It's just a way.
But somebody had to decide, okay, we're going to make these huge-ass speed bumps, and we're going to put the crosswalks on them. We're going to add these fucking blinking lights everywhere.
Well, this is bureaucracy in American government, so the decision could have been made 20 years ago to increase
Right.
those speed bumps.
This
So
is true. This is true.
So yeah,
it's not
I mean,
the government workers, it's the
it might
fact
have
that
been
it's
Right.
clogged in
It
red
took,
tape.
it took that long.
Yeah.
So
Perhaps.
It might have been selectmen that were elected when we were still in high school.
and are no longer around.
Yeah.
So,
booyah. Yay, government.
and they waste money on things all the time. So
Right.
someone got paid for it, but someone's going to get
Well,
paid
nobody's getting paid for anything
anyway.
right now.
Well, at least not in the federal government.
Well,
Yes, and I don't want to get you started.
It's fine,
we got past the yelling part of the show.
I'm sure the federal employees that aren't getting paid won't be upset about it because a sissy. Oh, that's not the right word.
that is not the right word.
Hissy fit.
A hissy fit,
So
yeah.
someone is.
That's probably not the right word either.
Someone is
That probably
throwing a
has some
hissy fit.
Negative. Yeah.
no, it's like the steam coming out of the ears, right? The hissing sound, like the teeth.
Yeah.
I think hissy fit is
Is that
I think you're
is
right.
that not
I
where
don't
it's
know,
from?
but that
Because the
sounds
sissy
right.
is definitely not the
Yeah,
right
yeah,
one, but a hissy is.
That was me misspeaking. So.
Yes. Yeah. So yes,
It's like
you-
someone
you think
throwing
that,
a hissy fit because he wants to build a wall.
Yeah, get him some fucking Legos.
Yeah.
I wonder if he got anything for Christmas.
You know,
No, he was sitting by himself.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's all a what was the quote that he said to the 7-year-old?
I'm lonely.
No, the 7-year-old who called into the White House, and he was like, "So do you believe in Santa Claus?" I mean, it's all like not.
He's a dipshit. Let's
Yeah.
just leave it at that.
Yeah. So he probably didn't get Legos for Christmas.
No.
But somebody could have solved a lot of problems had they just sent I don't know, like a Lego version of the ice wall from Game of Thrones.
That would occupy his time for a very long
like a
time.
real like big fucking like they've got the new Hogwarts, and it's so.
I don't think he likes magic. I think.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm saying the new Hogwarts is so big.
How big is it?
Well, not big enough because the figures you get are the little micro figs, but it's still huge. The only mini figs that you get in the package are the 4 founders, who I think are supposed to be there as statues. Anyway, so if you had a wall that like a Westerosi wall, like the Wall of Ice, what is that thing called? The wall. Yeah, if you had the wall, if you had the fucking wall, and you just gave it to him for Christmas, let him fucking
Everybody
sit there
knows
with Baron
that-
and you know.
That Mexicans are breeding dragons, and they'll just like shoot fire at the wall and just burn it right down.
And the
So it's a waste of money.
and the Canadians are a bunch of ice zombies.
Sure. Yes,
Well, I
and
mean, that's you started that metaphor. I
and I
finished
also
it.
ended it. So what the fuck were you saying before
we were gonna talk about I brought up the Rogan thing. We were gonna tie up some loose ends, and this is one loose end that never got tied up.
Okay.
So an C number 6.
It doesn't matter.
We still haven't finished talking about your honeymoon, but that's because you don't remember what you did, and you need.
I do
notes
remember
from
what
your
I
wife.
did, but I just don't remember what I talked about. And
Okay.
like, it's just, I think we talked about all the important stuff.
Okay.
We went to to Token or Tokens.
I think it was Token. Yeah.
It's
in Dublin.
In Dublin, we went on a couple
Maybe
of
Tokens. Yeah.
We went to the Teelings whiskey. Went on the tour there.
Not the Tieflings whiskey.
No.
Okay.
Teelings.
Yeah. Not demons from D&D.
So yeah, we went to a bunch of stuff. We spent a couple nights in Dublin. We did I think I talked about the fairies folklore and food. Like
I mean,
dinner
I'm not
we
saying,
went to.
Yeah, I'm not saying you have to do it all right
Did
now.
you hear
I'm
any
just-
cool stories?
Yes,
All right. I went to the Leprechaun Museum.
we did too.
Yeah. It was
we-
3 or 4 stories. It was pretty neat.
Yeah, it was like we thought it was. We were worried, and I think the guy said exactly what we were worried about. That you think that the entire tour is going to be in this one room.
Yeah, no, that first room was like okay, and then like I was in a room
There was
with
like boxes
5
of
or
Lucky
6
Charms, and you're
strangers.
like, oh fuck, what is this?
Oh no, I thought you meant the big room,
no, I'm talking about like
just the small little like
Yeah, the hallway
entryway
as you're going
where
in.
it's like Lucky Charms. It's like this is the American bastardization of leprechauns that
Yeah, yeah.
screwed us completely. They're supposed to be small and brown clothes, not this ridiculous green. And it was like that one movie that caused them. Whatever.
right.
Yeah. Anyway,
But yeah, that was a lot of fun.
it was really fun. Yeah, the stories were pretty neat.
Yeah, and they did similar stories at the dinner. I forget what the name of that's why I didn't want to like talk about it without notes or something because I forget the names of
Okay,
shit.
those- I'm not saying
you-
you have to do it all right now.
I think we already talked about it, so I think it's fine. We had a
What
great
else-
time
what
on our
else
honeymoon.
do you
so
wanna
we're done
close
with
up?
we're done with the honeymoon.
We flew business class home, and so it was much better.
Okay.
We sort of paid
What
a
was
little
the
extra.
Well, how much? Like double or triple?
It wasn't as much as you would you would actually actively pay for business class, but it was definitely more
Yeah.
than the regular coach seat.
I just bring that up because before we started talking about the honeymoon,
But it was worth it. It was like we
Okay.
we were like reclined. I watched like 3 movies. Like I could have watched movies in the regular seats, but it was more comfortable. They kept on bringing us champagne, and
Oh,
it
that's
was just,
that's fantastic.
yeah.
Yeah. No, when I went, it was really expensive, and I flew like coach, and it was like not the best. But if you sit in the back, it's like 2x2s, so it's easier. You got a lot more leg room. But for when I went to Italy prior, it was like super cheap, but that was winter time.
Yeah.
So, what were the other things you wanted to?
No, so I say, so before we talked about the honeymoon, we talked about the wedding, and I just realized it was way before we talked about the wedding.
way back.
Way back, we talked about your bachelor party. Now, I want to preface this bit here by saying we are not here to talk about ladies or boobies or any of that.
We're just going
We're
to
going
talk
to talk about a thing that my brother said to me. So this was around the time of the wedding. I think we were on our way to the rehearsal dinner, maybe. I mean, for the sake of the story, let's just say we're driving to your rehearsal
Yes, it
dinner.
was.
which was
yes.
the fucking worst.
The rehearsal dinner?
No, the drive to the rehearsal.
Oh, the
dinner.
drive to the rehearsal dinner.
Well, not like the rehearsal in general,
Yeah.
because it was Columbus Day weekend
Yeah.
and it was fuck tons of traffic.
Right.
And I left with what I thought was enough time, like an hour and a half
Right.
to get what should normally take 40 minutes to do.
Yeah.
And it took fucking
Yeah,
2.5
well, and John
hours.
and I took the back roads from our house to where it was, and it took a long time. But
Well, it's because like I think everybody going on highways in the area,
Right.
and also
and everyone was celebrating my birthday. That's
that too, and there had just been the gas explosions in Andover, which
Oh,
is where
yep,
we were going.
right. Okay, so on this car ride, John and I were talking, and he said, "Oh, when you guys were talking about the bachelor party, did Steve mention Connect 4?" And I said, "No, he didn't." And so John told me the story, and then I think it was up to me to at some point ask you about Connect 4, but I never did on the
I think
show.
you might have done it before, and then we forgot to talk about it.
We forgot to talk about. So I
Because
think
we
the
do
listeners,
that.
the listeners have never heard about Connect 4, and you guys need to explain.
Did they hear
You're,
about?
you're hyping it up a
Did
little bit too much.
I'm
Did they hear
hyping it
about
up
Little Steve?
only because we've got 10 minutes left.
Yeah,
and
we
if
did talk about Little Steve.
Okay. you
If
heard
I
about
if
Little
I
Steve.
hype it up, we got 10 minutes left. If I spend a couple,
We can talk about Die Hard for the rest.
Yeah,
we don't
we'll
need to
talk,
hype this
we'll
up.
talk about Die Hard for a
All
bit.
right, so tell me about Connect 4, and then we'll talk about Die Hard.
Well, there was a point. It was very busy there that night.
So that's just a little bit beforehand.
Okay, I was pretty drunk, so
exactly. That's it.
That's why it's good
A
to
little
have
bit
John here. He
We
can fill in the
my brother
blanks.
was unable to attend. He had,
I
I was
was
busy
in-
in the other Portland.
I was in the other Portland.
Yes, across the country. I had driven up with Grease Neck, and it took a while because my GPS was set to not use roads.
Not use roads.
He's driving
It's
over
just
people's
driving on
lawns.
really difficult to get there. No roads. So I meant
Wait,
to
where we're
say,
going, we don't need
I
roads.
meant to say toll roads. And,
Oh, okay. Got it.
yeah, there's
And
like
most of the ones to get to
there's
Maine.
one road that just takes you straight there. That's a toll road, and we missed it because it was a toll road.
Yeah.
it's because I'm in California. I just don't like to pay like the
Right.
ridiculous tolls that they don't even tell you what.
Yeah,
Anyway,
you would have saved yourself a whole heck of a lot of time.
besides that, it took a little bit longer. We got there about an hour after the party started. Steve had a little bit to drink, but he was like, "We're not gonna go to what you previously said. We're not gonna talk about.
We're not going.
We're
to
not
the,
going
we're
to
not
the
going to the
movies.
tit house.
Yeah,
Those
he
were
said-
my
movie
exact words.
Exactly, exact quote. Yes, and I'm like, that sounds great. Let's just go, hang out, play some,
But then-
pinball and stuff.
then I
we
got
went
more
to the
drunk.
Pinball, and he drank more. Then we went and did some other stuff. We went
Yeah.
and got some food. He drank more. And when little Steve made his appearance and jumped across my shoulder, jumped in,
Which was the flying squirrel.
Flying
Yeah.
squirrel had used
Yeah.
the bathroom in the restaurant. Steve came out and was like, "All right, we're going to the."
Tit house.
And then we decided. I ordered an Uber. We got somebody else ordered an Uber. We got over to the Tit House. We went in. Blah blah blah. There was a little bit of drinking, and then Steve and I can say Leo
Yeah.
disappeared. And it's like, where the hell did they go? Everybody else was at the bar.
Right.
And then I spotted Steve and Leo across the room.
And it's fair to say without getting it, but that when two people disappear at
At a tit house.
yes,
They're usually
they
Getting
may
a
be
dance,
partaking in a
maybe.
particular a VIP type of experience
Perhaps, yes.
in some way.
This
so
was not the case.
Yes.
this
no.
was not the
This
case.
was not the case. There
Yeah.
was, I believe, 3 stages or so, and they were close to a stage, but they weren't looking at the stage. I mean, their chairs were sort of facing the stage,
Yeah.
but they were a little preoccupied with something else that was happening between them.
Which has
Okay.
already been spoiled.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was the Connect 4.
Yeah.
And I was like, why the fuck are they playing Connect 4 when there's boobies
Let's
right
take
there?
one step back.
Why does the
if-
strip club have Connect 4 if
I-
not for us to play?
I believe there was a section of other board games.
Okay.
I think there was 2 or 3 stacked, and Connect 4 was on the top, but it was off to the side. It wasn't at the table.
Right.
There was a small round table they were playing Connect 4 at.
Okay.
It didn't make sense.
Well, so what I want to know about this, right, and I think it is we should applaud this particular establishment,
Right.
for thinking ahead for the dudes, because I gotta say, a lot has changed even in the 17 or so years since my bachelor party and your bachelor party, right? It used to be like no matter. no matter what you were doing as a dude at a bachelor party, you were going to a strip club at some point. Like that just that
Sometimes it didn't happen.
No. On your bachelor party, there was a plan not to go
was
to the
there?
tit house. There was like, one of your friends planned it, and then
Yeah.
it was like, hey, we're doing this, this, and this, and
Yeah.
then one of your friends, I think one of the groomsmen was
Yeah.
gay, and he's like, I don't care, I don't
Yeah,
need to
yeah,
see
you
any
didn't-
tits.
yeah.
But then we eventually, I think, went to a tit house, and
We
he
did.
was super
I
excited
like
to
how
see
they're
some
now
tits.
called tit houses.
you coined a
Yeah.
phrase. No,
Yeah.
so what I'm saying is
There was a plan not to, but then we did. Sort of like
Just-
there was a
just
plan
like-
not to, and we did.
But in the interim, I think it's become way more acceptable not to, it's like you said, even back then there was a plan not to, and at yours there's a plan not to. I think it's become acceptable not to, right?
And there was
And-
folks that didn't come to on.
Well, a lot of people don't come at a tit house.
no, I'm talking about didn't come along
You gotta pay extra.
with us to that
Oh, yes,
establishment,
yes.
and that's like we
Right.
They went out and had different stories, different adventures, like where people said this guy can fuck. That was
Yeah.
a different story altogether. But
Wow,
there was no
okay.
fucking where they went.
Yeah.
They just went and had some food.
So what I'm saying is we applaud this establishment because sometimes when the group does end up at the what you call it?
tit house.
I'm trying not to say it. So
I don't think you've said it yet.
We don't
I have
actually
not
have to
said
talk
it.
about this anymore.
Yeah, but sometimes there'll be some fellas who are not all that interested, and so this establishment thought ahead and had the board games. That's one
But
possible.
also, the other possibility is you could be playing board games with a
with
half-naked
one
lady,
of the performers,
which is just fun.
I think that
And
could
it's a
be
better
fun.
way to connect at a tit house. than
Yes, connect
four. Yeah.
Could you, but it's only a 2-player game. You can't connect with 4 ladies at once.
I mean, you could if you chose
Yeah, you
to
could
do
you,
teams.
you could play
teams.
You could play
Yeah,
teams,
yeah.
like red and black there.
Okay. Could you do strip Connect 4?
Well, I don't think you're
You're
allowed
not
to.
allowed to take your clothes off.
Oh,
They can
okay.
take your clothes off if you're on stage named Steve.
Right.
Which also happened, and I was freaking out when I heard Steve come up on the stage, Bachelor, and I'm like, what?
He was a little worried. He was running for the door a little
Was
bit.
there a
But then there
different
was
Steve?
another guy
Oh,
named
okay.
Steve that got pulled up on stage.
But it's just back in the day when I went to these places. Like
So
I think there
weird.
is
Yeah.
probably there's probably a guy, many guys who go in there would not want to see the ladies take anything off, and they would just like to play Connect 4 with them, because there were guys I would see back when I went to these places a lot who I don't think they ever got a dance, but they would sit with one of the women and drink with them for a little while. And then eventually the woman would go off and go, give someone a dance or whatever. They
mean,
What
Dude.
was you used to work with a guy that was often at the one in
Yes.
Tingsboro before it closed, and
Yes.
like I imagine he was like one of those guys that was
Well, I know he had dated a few of the women that worked there, and I think he was just friends with the bartenders and stuff. So I think it was more of like a hangout thing.
yeah.
Like,
Oh,
So that I mean
okay.
that's
So maybe
that's
that's
probably
what
what
I
happened.
was
Like
saying. Okay.
you end up like it becomes your neighborhood bar.
Right. Yeah.
it's your
No, there,
hangout
I mean,
place.
there was the one
It
when I
just so happens
was
that
in,
there's naked people there.
when I was in New Hampshire.
I think they showed that in Kill Bill Volume 2. I think, Buck, no, he was scared.
Oh, I never saw that.
Yeah.
What? Anyway.
I saw the first one, but yeah, no. So when I was when I was in New Hampshire, the closest bar of any kind was the bar at the gentleman's establishment down the
Gold
street.
Club.
Yeah, this was back when it was I think it was called Mark's Showplace,
Oh.
and it had an actual just like regular bar in the front as well. But sometimes there was a bar in the area where the stripping happened, and there were dudes who were not there they were watching the game like that.
No, it's sort of like that establishment in the city of Lowell where you think it's a convenience store, but in the back it's not. Yeah. So
Is that place still around?
I don't know. I haven't been to downtown.
Yeah,
Lowell.
I mean, I Google Maps it the other night just to
What?
see,
It's still-
and it's there.
It's still there?
there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
At least of the last time, like the Google van went by it.
I don't know that I'd want to go. I mean, I don't believe I can't. Anyway, let's talk about Die Hard. I can't believe that I ever went in that place, and I don't know that I'd want to go in now.
What, to the Die Hard building?
I've been into the
not
Die Hard building,
Have you been?
Nakatomi Plaza.
I have not. I have not.
It's on this one place in.
First time I
close to
ever
Beverly
saw
Hills.
any Die Hard movie was yesterday, and I saw the end of the one with Sam Jackson in it, and most of the conversation around that was with my cousin about how that is what in Captain Marvel, they're trying to make Sam Jackson look like, because that movie was Die Hard with a Vengeance, maybe. I don't know. It was whatever.
It might
one
have
came
just
out.
been called Die Hard 2.
No,
It
that
wasn't-
was the third one.
it was-
Die Hard 2 was the-
No, Die Hard 2 is the one set in New York, close to the airport.
Okay.
Die Hard 1 was, of course, in Nakatomi Plaza. Die Hard
Yeah.
3, I believe, was the one set in New York, which Sam Jackson, which was originally a movie called like Simon Says, which they remade with that basketball player with the purple hair. I can't remember.
Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, I think there was a fourth, fifth, and sixth one.
Yeah.
There's one that he went to Russia.
So all I know is that it was Bruce Willis and Sam Jackson, and I looked up on the little info thing, and it said that it came out in 1995, and I said, oh, so Captain Marvel, the movie coming out in March from Marvel, is supposed to be set in 1995, and
So
they're
gonna
de-aging Sam Jackson, and so I was like, oh, that's what he's supposed to look like. And so I didn't really watch that much of the Die Hard. I was like, oh, I was watching Sam Jackson.
But then you watched
Then-
in its entirety.
Yes, I think
Die Hard.
Die
on
Hard
television, mind
came
you.
on after that.
On IFC.
IFC,
so
so swears.
they still
Swears
had swears
and
and the
commercials.
violence.
And breasts. They showed
there's-
breasts.
oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Why
Like,
were there titties in that
Normally,
movie?
if you get...
There was during the party there was like a couple people in the office building having sex, and
Oh,
they
okay.
just when they were pulling everybody into the main office, like
Right.
main area.
But normally, if you're gonna get the blood, and you're gonna get the boobs, and you're gonna get the four-letter words, you don't get commercials.
But
with
IFC is different.
you get everything.
Well, you do
Boobs,
realize
commercials, blood,
cable television is not regular.
shaking puppies. Every fucking commercial break, there was a ASPCA or something with just like horrible looking like dogs in pain.
They were all cute,
But-
just malnourished.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
They don't throw ugly dogs on those
no,
commercials.
but horrible looking in the sense of like this is making.
they
me
want
very
you to
uncomfortable.
fucking adopt dogs. What they're
I want to
it's
adopt
working.
a dog,
and it's
but,
probably
you know,
actually commercials set forth by the dog food industry. Honestly,
Probably.
So
So
yeah. So
like-
Die Hard came on.
IFC is a cable channel.
Yes.
Like cable is not regulated by the FCC.
Right.
They can put whatever the fuck they want on. It's just a question of like, will advertisers be okay with it? And apparently, not a shit ton are into it on Christmas. So
Right.
you get a bunch of ASPCA
You got a
ads.
bunch of hurting, shaking doggies. Like,
So
yeah. But Die Hard.
what
was
did you
awesome.
think of Die Hard, Chris?
I mean, this is my first time seeing a Die Hard motion picture, and
Did you actually watch it? Like,
I tried to watch most of it, yeah.
but it's impossible. Like the
it didn't seem like there was that much plot I was missing because everyone was
the
talking.
surroundings you are in when you are at home
Yes,
make it almost impossible to actively watch anything.
right. So
Like,
and you
both-
and you
both of your
and
kids-
you wonder why I don't watch anything.
You can watch it like if you have your headphones and on your computer and like you go into another room.
Do you know where my computer? Well, I mean, now I have a laptop, but my computer is located at the top of the fucking
Right,
stairs,
so-
in
but-
between the two bedrooms, and down the stairs is
You can
my
sit
dad.
on your bed and you can put this on your chest.
Yeah.
And you can watch a movie with your headphones on.
if
That is
my
the
wife
way.
isn't watching a movie on the big TV there or on her iPad.
Yeah, but if you have your headphones on, it's not going to be that distracting, as opposed to sitting in your parents' living room
Yeah.
with both your kids in there, your dad, which just like every once in a while he'll just tell a story for a half an hour, and it's like, where did that half an hour go? And I missed half an hour of the goddamn movie.
But it didn't look like there was that much of movie to miss. Like he's
It's an action movie, so
Yeah.
like, but there are like plot points that you might miss.
yeah.
Like,
But my cousin Greg was
a-
there, and my cousin Greg was explaining them to me. My cousin,
on commercials and stuff.
yeah. Well, no, sometimes not even during the
Okay.
commercial. I mean,
All right.
and we should stay like Greg. I don't know if is he on the spectrum?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So Greg like would be trying to talk to me about other movies that I'd say I hadn't seen, and then he'd be he will sometimes talk to me about the movie that I've just told him I haven't seen as if I've seen it. That's just he's great. You know, I've known him. He turned 30 this year. You know, and
he reads a lot. He plays.
He reads a lot. He's a great guy. But there's anyway. So
I wasn't doubting it.
He was helping explain some of the movie. It was more like the pop up when you're watching a show that's been aired.
So if my dad was talking for half an hour, all I really had to do was turn and actively engage with my cousin for a second, and my cousin would tell me everything I missed.
Yeah, but that like being told something.
I know, you know it's not the same.
There was times where like there wasn't an active amount of like One Piece that existed in English, like whether you know the comic or the anime. So like I would just read wikis about it, and then I would know what happened in the story.
Yeah,
but reading like
that's why I don't
synopsis is not going to be as good as actually actively reading it or watching.
You've brought up the point of why I don't think spoilers are. I can read as much as I want about a good story, and then seeing how that story is executed is what makes the difference. So I don't care about, most of the time I don't care about being spoiled about things. If it's something that would be ruined by being spoiled by me reading a wiki or what, then it's not worth watching in the first place.
Right.
Anyway. So that's.
So are we done?
Get off my soapbox. Yeah. Well, you asked me about Die Hard.
I just wanted to
we are done, but you know
that like trying to like watch something
right
in your home environment is very difficult.
It's difficult, yeah, which is why I don't.
And what would help would be a dog.
Yeah, and so like the kids could be distracted by the dog at least.
Oh, especially if it's outside humping something. They'd be like, "What the hell is that dog doing out there?"
I thought you were saying if the puppy dog like leapt up into my lap and I was petting the puppy dog and it was like, "Oh, you're not getting up. You're gonna sit and watch something." That would be helpful. That's how it would be helpful. That would be
helpful if you didn't have a phone or like many of the other distractions.
I don't watch things with my phone. I put my phone away. That's the other reason why I don't watch a lot of stuff is because unlike everyone else I know, if I'm going to watch something, I'm just going to watch it. I'm not doing work while I'm, you know,
like if
the most I do is I do an exercise while I watch. Like that's
if it's something that I'm super into, I will tend to put my phone away.
Right.
Like, but if it's something that I'm sort of like whatever, we're watching the Great British Baking Show or something like that, I'll have my phone out because I'm like missing. You know, how long they whip the eggs for is not going to be.
But that's where this is where everyone asks me why I haven't seen. Like, I don't watch things that I'm not super interested in.
But I am interested in the Great British Baking Show.
Would you just say if I'm not super interested in it, I'll pick up my phone?
So
I don't watch anything that I'm not super interested in.
It has to be like you have to be like, oh my god, I need to watch this.
Otherwise, why bother?
Because it can be entertaining, and sort of just like blah, whatever. You can't just like have like whatever entertainment like on in the background.
No. That's I can't listen to podcasts while I do work. Like the only time I can listen to podcasts is when I'm driving.
Because what you're doing is
what I'm
really
doing is stupid and I hate
mind-bending. Yeah. No, but that's the best time to be listening to a podcast because like if you're doing like work that doesn't necessarily
but I don't
like beg for 100% of your attention. That's the perfect time to listen to a podcast. But if you are doing something that does require your attention,
which is almost everything that I do,
like scheduling.
Yes, because if I fuck up scheduling, I get like 30 emails about it. So I can't be like, oh, this is an interesting point they're making on Fresh Air with Terry Gross with. I don't know why that's the one that comes to mind.
That's one of the ones you're missing out on.
No, I don't. I stopped listening to that ages and ages and ages ago. I can't listen to this because Serial. It's so interesting. I need to know if Adnan did it.
This was 5 years ago.
Yeah, but that's the only season I've actually listened to.
The second one was okay. The third one's I think better than the second season, but not as good as the first.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Podcast.
No, I like Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's cool.
Well, he's a clever fellow,
and he's apparently a bad boy too. So no more heroes except for Travis Touchdown.
Wait, he's a bad boy?
Yeah, apparently
he did bad things.
Grabbed a tit or something. I don't know what the fuck he did.
Fucking universal
like every guy ever is a shithead. So let's just fucking. Can we just?
You can find the show notes for this episode at clarkwoods.com/hot/1 not 1 fucking asshole
219
motherfucker not any of that. Clarkwoods.com/hot/219.
No, you should put all that stuff.
All of that in there. I can if you want to. I would have to go back and listen to that part.
No.
And it would be, what is this, like cocksucker, motherfucker, and tits? No. None of that is going in. It's just /219.
Nope.
What do you think?
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Well, so when you go to visit when you want to learn more about the episode, you got to go to a particular URL
to get you to explain something that you don't need to explain.
I know. I'm playing.
I would rather you not.
But this is how people make fun of me. They get me to over-explain things, and they know that they know that I.
Oh no, I was being serious. I didn't know what you were trying to cut and what you weren't trying to cut.
So there's a
just put the URL somewhere, like with your voice.
Yeah, clarkwoods.com/hot/219 is the actual one. Yeah. But when I messed up and I said 1/dumbass motherfucker, like I can put all of that in there.
Why don't you just change the website
to dumbass motherfucker?
Yeah.
I think
I did have chrisclarksucks.com once.
SUX.
Sucks what?
Was up to the imagination.
Ooh.